here. Commissioner Mason?
Here.
Commissioner Edelman?
Here.
Commissioner Holloway?
Yes.
Commissioner Mazzola?
Here.
Commissioner Bio?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas? Here. A quorum is present. Approval of agenda?
I move to approve the agenda. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I forgot to ask, any discussion? Any opposed? All right, on to public comments and or questions.
Is that a comment?
Standing items, approval of commission meeting minutes of June 11th, 2019.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approval of bill payments for the month of June 2019 in the amount of $23,935.53.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills. June 2019.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? On to monthly reports. Chief Patino, do you have anything to add?
Everybody got my report, any questions? Okay. Did you get my message the other day?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Did-
And Destiny also called me and she took care of it. Yes. Yep.
That's all.
And any questions on Public Works for Buster?
I do. This morning and all last night, the standby generator was running at the water station down on New Street. I mentioned it to Jamie. He said that it was a good time to exercise it, but if we exercise it too much, we might not have a standby generator.
Yeah, well, luckily, we do have one that's on its way. He informed me this morning that our new replacement generator will be delivered here soon. Chief Patino is going to lead him in from 66 all the way to his final resting place near the water. So, yeah, I'll talk to him and see if we need to have it running overnight and what our options are. So hoping that our new generator will not.
Usually we shouldn't run unless the electricity's on.
Yeah. Maybe something triggered it with overnight, I'm not sure.
Any questions for Buster on his report? Or Buster, do you have anything to add?
The annual drinking water, or going back to Public Works.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Consumer confidence report, Jamie finished that up, and so it was sent over to the state for review, and we have notices going out with summer tax bill this Friday. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, and then once we get a final document, it will be published on the city's website and also here in the lobby as well. As far as my report, business as usual. We're moving into the new fiscal year on July 1. We do have observed Independence Day next week, so city offices will be closed. Some days off. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, we began the transfer of funds over to MERS for employee retirement programs on 457 and a defined contribution. MERS has been, I think, overall pretty good to work with so far. Last week we had a conference call to talk about moving the plan over. Also, the planning commission met last week, had a public hearing and also consideration of a special land use application and site plan for the solar farm, which the planning commission reviewed the site plan and asked a few questions and ultimately approved the special land use application. So that is going out in the mail tomorrow to the applicant. As far as their timeline or when they want to get started is kind of up in the air. They do know that that permit is only good for 1 year, so they have to either request an extension or reapply. So far, so good on that note with the planning commission and the solar farmer.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
I know way back, we were talking about what benefit that ends up having to the city, and we assumed it was in the taxable value of that parcel going up, and I just wondered if Edie ever was able to kind of estimate what revenue that could bring the city based on the proposed value.
I can ask her again, and if she can tell me, then I'll share that in my weekly report to everyone. I know at the time it was pretty new, and she hadn't had any other areas that she could compare to. So I'll ask her if she found out any additional information as in terms of taxable value.
There may be different ways of taxing it also. It could be by the value of the property, or it could be by the income generated. Like some apartment complexes, they're valued the same way.
Does anybody else have any questions for Lester? Okay. On to new business, consideration by city commission to approve the liability and property insurance renewal proposal from Michigan Municipal League Liability and Property Pool for the annual premium amount of $23,617.
I move we approve that you just read.
Second.
Any discussion?
Back to a question.
Yep.
If we have a standardized process by which we can every 2 years reach out and see if anybody can provide comparable insurance coverage with some savings for the city. If there are any other alternatives out there, we'd assume somebody else would be willing to take on the liability and see if it can save us money. If not, no, but at least have something in place so we don't do the same thing over and over.
Yeah, definitely it is a best practice to do that every so often. At this time, it does take some work and just ran out of time, and also there are incentives with MML, and it's tough, but it is good to do a price check every now and then. to
I'm sure it's a good value,
Make
but
sure
it's just,
competitive.
just a check, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, I like to put the insurance folks on their toes a little bit and say, going out to bid or going out to look, and they get a little nervous, so I totally agree with that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And committee reports.
Flowers are looking great. Seen the Crances out there quite a bit, they're doing a heck of a job, and also several other volunteers as well, stopping out there to help with maintaining the flower boxes downtown. Also, back to the cemetery, I've spoken to Kenny Barber, who was interested in replacing the sign and sprucing up the entryway there. So we've had some good conversation, and also there's another gentleman, Mr. Simpson, who's shared that he's interested in donating to replace the sign as well. So looking to have more conversation with him. I was out of the office last week, but I did follow up with him just yesterday. So I guess between Mr. Simpson, Penny, and myself, I think we've got a good solid plan come together on what the appropriate process would be. So they all know that with a couple of renderings. Also, Mr. Holloway is spending some of his time in those signs. He did a great job.
I think so.
It was a warm up when we come back on Monday with your
Little sunshine.
little sunshine on there. I like that. But all in all, things are doing very good.
planning commission met last week and approved the special use request for the solar field. And they approved it to go on, to come to the commission for whatever action taken back. Planning commission approved that Wednesday, Thursday, or what?
You have any prospects for members?
What?
Have any prospects for new members for the planning commission?
Not yet.
We need some.
Remove the rule, I'll come back on.
We had a lot of discussion of how to recruit, so. On to public comments.
John Stevens, 116 Vine Street. You guys are complaining about income, but yet when Diane Lowe wants to start a dispensary up down here, you turn it down, but yet you turn around and allow the stores next to me to sell the crap. And I thought you opted out of having it in town.
It's not considered marijuana anymore, John. You're talking about the CBD products?
Yeah.
The CBD products are not considered marijuana products anymore. The state and federal government has deemed them that they are able to, people are able to freely sell them.
Because there is no THC.
As long as the THC level is below 0.03%.
Okay, so anybody can sell it as long as it's below like that?
I'm not saying anybody can sell it.
No, you know what I meant, you know what I meant, Tori.
It's not
You don't
against the law
You
to
don't
sell.
have to have a special license permit or anything.
It's not considered a marijuana product, it's like a hemp product.
So it's different.
It's different.
Any commissioner comments?
Just made mine.
Okay.
I found what you sent us regarding the material to start looking at for marijuana to be helpful.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was hoping that it would be, in the mill and also our attorney to spend some time kind of moving it to a level that, is make it less difficult to engage with and understand. So I felt like sharing that information would at least be a benefit to some degree. So I'm glad to get it. It was helpful.
Since you're bringing it up, though, I found it, the way you shared it out, and with asking and giving an example of an ordinance to approve, then I think that it's the wrong way to share the information, and it may be in violation of the Open Meetings Act.
I didn't ask for any type of approval or decision. It was also sent out blind copy, so no one responded to it, but it was an example of an ordinance that's also available in the mail for reference.
I was gonna say, we've received samples in the past in the weeklies of opting out and opting in. We've received those in the weeklies prior to, because they're just samples.
I think the conversation that was sent in the email is more geared towards accepting the proposal of doing away with our existing ordinance and allowing marijuana products and stamp.
It was an example of opting in, what that would look like, opting into a medical marijuana ordinance.
Well,
Which was asked for at the last meeting, if I remember correctly.
you want me to give you an example, you're saying?
No, that was an example of what it could potentially look like if we chose to opt in. Because right now, we're not opted in. You don't have to do anything with medical. And if you do nothing, you're not. So that's just if we were to do something different than what we're doing. So there's no need to have anything for medical marijuana if you're not opting in. You do nothing and they can't come.
Right.
which is no different. So that's the only option that there would be to consider if we're just talking about medical right now.
So if you all as a commission said, we are interested in X, investor, can you get us information on X? And I provide you with information sharing, that's not a violation of Open Meetings Act, it's, we provide you with information. You can read it, or you can toss it, or you can file it away.
When it was asked at the meeting that I recall, I was picturing the information would be available at a meeting, and we would discuss the pros and cons. And there's just no cons. It's all information about what would happen if we went in this one direction. And I think that that's leading the commission.
Well, I ask for the law and what it states, and also the ordinance, you know, I think everyone needs time to digest what the ordinance would, a sample ordinance would contain, and what your options are, and, you know, the pros and cons, or recreational and medical.
We've already received binders of pros and cons. I mean, we had Diane in here with a binder of the reasons we should, and then we had John Cronick with all the reasons that we should. I mean, we know pros and cons already, and then, so what was asked for is from the municipal, like, perspective, we needed information about, this is perfect, this document is what I asked for, like a comparison contrast with what we were dealing with the medical, and then how that compares to what we were dealing with now potentially for recreational, and how that has changed some of the things. Like, for example, there was part of the 3% tax that a municipality would have been entitled to in the past, and now with the recreational coming down, that's no longer part of the package with opting into medical. So, you know, those were interesting things to find out about. And, I mean, honestly, I don't think we should sit here and talk about this right now, even though I got into it. I think what we're ready for after having this information is to schedule a work session so that we can talk about this information.
Correct.
After we've digested it. So I'll stop there.
I just got one question. How, with the new deal, you know, you're that recreational, I guess you're allowed to grow so many yourself. How are we supposed to watch that? You know what I mean?
You have to ask that guy over there. He's the one that he's in.
I didn't know if they were going to do it. You know how they say you can grow so many plants now? How are you supposed to watch that? You know what I mean? Nobody's ever, especially being in the town.
Do you want to be the marijuana inspector in town and go and count plants?
No, because I can't walk it. Everybody keeps asking me when I'm gonna start growing in the greenhouse. I'm like,
All right.
Are there any other commissioner comments?
Move adjourned.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Close flag for 1 minute difference. He wanted to see if we could beat our record from last time.
Oh.
It's 19 this time.
It was a set benchmark, so.
Good deal.
And we have payroll next Tuesday,
what's
right?
your lot, Joe? Just drive around
Yes,
the window,
we have
you
a
know.
permit.
You'll know.
I
It's their special
can't
stuff.
back to me tomorrow because I'm in Charlotte. Can you? Okay. If I just text you, will that be okay? You can tell me, but as long as we get here before 5. But I have to do commissioner.
That's fine. Just get
I'm
over
gonna
there.
get all of those out that I have to
I'll
read
do exactly.
right now. Yeah, because 4:30, no, I just have to be able to get to the bank by 5. So if you're here at 4:30, that's gonna be okay.
Well, and all the plans.